What was the story of Scorpio in Greek and Celtic myth? The zodiac sign of Scorpio has many stories surrounding it in the Greek tradition, and nearly all of them involve the legendary hunter Orion, son of Poseidon, Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, Gaia, goddess of the earth, and Apollo. The earliest recorded account is that of Hesiod, who says, Orion went away to Crete, and spent his time hunting in the company of Artemis and Leto. It seems that he threatened to kill every beast there was on earth, whereupon, in her anger, Gaia sent up against him a scorpion of very great size, by which he was stung, and so perished. After this, Zeus, at the prayer of Artemis and Leto, put him among the stars, because of his manliness, and the scorpion also, as a memorial of him, and of what had occurred. But in many versions, it is instead Apollo who sends the scorpion to kill Orion, often to protect the animals of the earth, sometimes at the behest of Gaia, because he was envious of Orion, or to protect his sister's honor. Apollo in many parts of Greece, and especially in the Archaic period, was a god of flocks and herds, and a protector of animals and the crops. A statue of a wolf stood before his altar at Delphi. The killing of Orion in these myths is linked to the concept of protecting the creatures of the earth from the death-dealing blows of Orion, and the deadly powers of the earth that can challenge and kill even the mightiest of men. Sometimes it is Artemis who has Orion killed for the same reason. In either case, after the death of Orion, Zeus places both Orion and Scorpio in the sky to honor them. It is said that in winter, Orion hunts the sky, but in summer, he is chased off by the scorpion. Preserved to us also is a slightly different, yet connected myth of Scorpio from Ireland, from a record of star constellations and their stories from about the 13th or 14th century. While obviously influenced by Greek tales, it has its own unique elements that must be a reflection of earlier Celtic myth. In the Irish version, Scorpio is not in fact a scorpion, but a snake. He is called a nathir, from Proto-Celtic natrix, and equivalent to Latin natrix, meaning a water snake, and English adder. It was said that the serpent was poisonous and double or divided, and had many strange limbs, and would kill every creature on earth if the dragon did not stand between it and the earth. One can perhaps make an argument that this is simply an Irish description of a scorpion, a creature they had never seen but had only heard of. Yet there are several links to Iron Age iconography which might cause one to think this refers to a native tradition. There's a fairly frequent motif of a double-ended, double-headed snake, often together with a young man wearing a diadem. There is also the very peculiar feature that the dragon is not the enemy, but the protector of the earth from a terrible celestial serpent. When considering this, we should also remember the term for dragon was often applied to heroic warrior figures. Both Cuchulainn and Lugh are referred to as dragons, and the word is also used as a synonym for lightning bolts, as the fire of the dragon. Lugh calls upon the Donald Druig Fasul Tenet, the howling of dragons with showers of fire. Thus the dragon in the Irish myth is filling the role of either Apollo, Artemis, or Gaia from the Greek story as the protector of the earth, opposing a poisonous serpent that strives to destroy it. There is also here an element of the Indo-European myth of the battle against the serpent. Yet the Irish version is also importantly the opposite of the Greek story. In the Greek myth, the scorpion is the protector of the earth against Orion. In the Celtic myth, the scorpion is the poisonous snake that seeks to destroy the earth. Does that mean that the dragon or warrior hero that is mentioned is thus to be equated with Orion? it is quite possible. Orion is placed in the sky close to both Canis Major and Taurus, the bull, potentially giving him the appearance of a cattle herder of the sky accompanied by his hound. He is perhaps the guardian of the cow of the sky, and he's positioned within the Milky Way, which is called the Way of the White Cow in Irish, but is also referred to as the Chain of Lugh. Of Cuchulainn, it is said in the Táin, "A fair man facing your foes in the starlit ford of night." Whatever the case may be, details provided of the constellation Scorpio point toward a similar thinking of the Greeks, but with the possible reversed association. I'd like to give a big thanks to my Patreon subscribers. If you found this interesting, please share the video. Become a supporter on Patreon for unique content. Gorav Mila Malgad Aseshak Agus Marigoni Shas Gohard.